Okay, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if this is the first time you've been here. So I'm in the middle of a massive unhaul. I'm looking through every single book I've got, and I'm ditching as many as I can because I've got too many books. So there is a bunch of books by my desk that I'm not going to worry about because they're recent purchases or they're stuff that I'm about to read, so Gub Augusty type things or book trek and stuff. I've also got the actual bookshelf itself up in my bedroom, which is where I keep the sort of more urgent books. But in the loft I had boxes and boxes and boxes of books, and that's what I've been going through. So hundreds of books, and I've made quite a lot of progress. So this is the 6th video of me going through these books. So I'm making piles I'm going to keep because either I haven't read it yet and I want to read it, or because they mean a lot to me, or a pile that I'm not going to keep because either I've read it and don't need to keep it anymore, or I really don't think I'm going to read it, or I just don't value it, or whatever. Or it might be a duplicate. I've got some duplicates. So here we go. Let's start off with a very good biography of Lenin that I used a lot in my degree. Christopher Reed's good biography, but I'm not going to keep it. Let's go in. A Dirty Job, Christopher Moore. I am going to keep this. This is really good, and I do want to build up to a Christopher Moore video at some point. That is really good. Meddling Kids, I really like that book, and I'm going to keep it because I think I might reread it. So that's really good. Neverwhere, Neil Gaiman. Don't want to get rid of any of my Neil Gaiman books. This is a episode guide for Babylon 5. There's 2 actually. There's a part 2 as well, and I'm keeping it. I'm not going to keep many things like that, but I'm keeping that. This is a really cool version of Make Room. Harry Harrison. It's just got a really bizarre cover, and even though I've got another copy of this, I'm keeping this version because the cover's so crazy. This is my copy of Handmaid's Tale. Keeping that. I just got it actually. Edgar Allan Poe, Tales of Mystery and Imagination. A very good collection. This is a John Scalzi book that's part of a trilogy, and I bought the whole trilogy at the same time, and I haven't read them yet. And I have unhauled one John Scalzi book in my previous videos, but I'm keeping some, and I hadn't even read this, and I really like John Scalzi, so I'm keeping that. This is Edgar Carrot. So I did a video on Edgar Carrot the first time I discovered him. Very strange, and for me, very likeable. I'm going to keep this because if I wanted to reread something from here, his short stories are about a page and a half. So he could amuse me even if I had 2 seconds of time. Okay, this is a big deal because I have decided that I'm getting rid of these pocket essentials. So I've got tons. I've got loads. And they're really good. I really like them, but I'm trying to be brutal. I didn't have every single one, but I had a lot of them. I had the ones that I could relate to. So I'll just show you which ones are here. So you've got Spielberg, slasher movies, vampire films, horror films, film music, that's a really good one. The Marx Brothers, see that? I ought to keep that for my collection of Marx Brothers books. Coen Brothers, Ridley Scott, Vietnam War movies, there's a lot of them. John Carpenter, Kubrick, film noir, Kieslowski. Oh, another one about the Coen Brothers and Woody Allen. That might be all of those. I'm also getting rid of the very short introduction series as well from Oxford University Press. So I've got loads of these. This is only one lot, but I know as I keep bringing these boxes down, I'm going to find others. So there's really cool. These are really good. These are really, really good. Ethics, the Cold War. These are just, they just really, if you want a quick guide, an overview, these are really good. Theology, atheism. And I like the fact that this one stresses positive atheism, which is, you know, it just emphasises the rejection of belief rather than its own belief. Globalisation. These are really good condition, actually. Do I want to keep this? Yes, I'm going to keep Chomsky's 9/11. I think I'm going to get rid of the No Nonsense Guide to Democracy. These are smaller books. I'm going to take this to work. I think History of Atlantic Records. It's quite nice finding this. So I'm going to keep that and put it somewhere else. There's the vintage little Corgi, is it? Or Ace? Corgi classic illustrated man, so I'm keeping this. A memoir by David Mitchell. I've got another book by him, actually. He is funny, isn't he? I'm going to keep it. This is a really good history textbook from Blackwell Publishing, the European Reformation source book. If it's a source book, it's full of primary sources, so I'm going to keep this. Any source book I find, I'm going to keep it. You've got Norwegian Wood by Murakami. I haven't read this, don't know what it's like. I've got a few Murakamis and I need to read one of them at least, and then if I don't like it, if I really don't like it, then I might get rid of them, but I need to read one, and this is one of the ones I've got. This is another Ray Celestin mystery thriller thing. So again, he uses this motif on his covers, and they're set at different times and different places, but I need to read one at least to figure out if I like him. But I am reading more crime at the moment, so it's a good thing. This, I know I bought this quite recently, The Strange Disappearance of a Bollywood Star. This looks like a bit of fun, so yeah, I'll keep that. It's all good. Okay, so Scramble for Africa. This is a really, really important history book. I did talk about this a lot in my Historathon videos. I do want to keep it. I'm going to make a decision to keep it, and I might change my mind, but I'm going to keep it because I feel like it's an important reference point. So I'm going to keep it. Anarchist Portraits is quite an unusual, rare book that I bought when I was doing my stuff on Russia. It was when I was doing my Russian units modules in my degree, and I think I used it for my dissertation as well. But anyway, it was really cool to see this. And they're all sort of, you know, important figures in the development of anarchism in the early 20th century. So I'm keeping that. All my friends are superheroes. Andrew Kaufman. I'm keeping all my Andrew Kaufman. So it'll probably pop up in a minute. But yeah, awesome book. These are the other two in that trilogy I was talking about. So I'm keeping these. Going to read them, and I expect I'll like them because I like Scalzi. Damon Knight, The Other Foot. That's another vintage classic science fiction book. Damon Knight is a really interesting guy, and I first discovered him through the Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man, which is an absolute classic. Okay. This is the first Bukowski book I ever bought. Notes of a Dirty Old Man. It's kind of, you know, his rambles. But I was intrigued, and I got well into him when I was a teenager. I'll talk about him more in another video, but it'll be next year. But I'm going to talk about him in more detail. But Notes of a Dirty Old Man is there. This is something I bought for my history degree. I don't really need it anymore. And why did I think there's a I don't know. I think it's a bit of historiography in there. I think that's what it was. So anyway, I'm not keeping that. That can go. See, this is a book about a popular science book about the Big Bang Theory. I'm not going to keep it. I haven't read it. I've had it for years. I remember I bought it in Blackwell's. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to keep it. Terry Eagleton's Why Marx Was Right. I'm keeping this. And yeah, just keeping that. See, am I keeping all of my Christopher Hill books? I need to let go, don't I? See, this is quite a rare book. This is Reformation to Industrial Revolution by Christopher Hill. I'm not going to be able to find it again. I need to keep it. I need to keep it. This is Barney Hoskins' Small Town Talk. This is a really good thing about the a book about the late 60s music scene in LA. I'm going to keep this for now. Bertrand Russell, Why I'm Not a Christian. I like Bertrand Russell. Keeping all my Bertrand Russell books. There's another one here, Common Sense and Nuclear Warfare. It utterly baffles me, people's attitudes to nuclear power and nuclear weapons and nuclear plants. I don't get it. And certainly I can relate more to what Bertrand Russell says. I don't think this is mine. I don't remember where I got it from, and I don't think it's mine. So I have to keep it because I don't think it's mine. At some point, someone might come up to me and go, "Have you got my David Crosby biography?" So I can't get rid of that anyway. I don't think it's mine. Right. This is another rare one, Blasphemy, Ancient and Modern. I am extremely interested in heresy, blasphemy, non-belief, all those kind of things over the period of human history. And that's kind of what I focus on in the Historathon as well. And I was going to do a special video before the end of the year about that for the Historathon event. So I'm definitely keeping that. Mind of My Mind by Octavia Butler. This looks really good. And I will read this at some point, but definitely keeping this. I bought this about 3 times. Eat, Shoots and Leaves. I don't think I'm gonna keep it. I probably should read it, but I'm not gonna. So there we are. Made a decision. Cabinet at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. Very, very popular horror author that I haven't read yet, but I've got 3 of his books, I think. So, yeah, I need to read this. And The Red Pony by John Steinbeck. Do I need to keep this? I'm going to keep it for now, but I might get rid of some of the John Steinbeck stuff. Right, this is the history of hip-hop. And I got very excited when I saw it, but I don't think I'm going to keep it because I've had it quite a while and I still haven't read it, and I feel like I probably won't. So I'm going to get rid of this. This is some stuff that I've bought on holiday. So when I'm on holiday in another country, I like to get cartoonist stuff that is from that country. So this is Lupo Alberto from Italy. And this is Spanish Peanuts. So I'm keeping those. I will talk more about... I'll do a separate video on my cartoonist stuff. Tales of Ordinary Madness, Bukowski. That was the second book I ever bought by him. And The British Marxist Historians. This is a really important book. This is what was kind of what spun off into my dissertation for my degree, where I concentrated on 3 historians and basically discussed whether or not they were Marxist or not. So I'm keeping that. What else we got? Some more pocket guides. Terry Gilliam. Tim Burton. All my heroes, basically. Cronenberg. You can see I kind of picked particular ones. You've probably heard me talk about all three of those people before. This is an anthology, science fiction anthology, and lots of authors I've never heard of, actually. I think I'll keep this. SF25 it's called. I'm going to keep it. This is Curse of the Full Moons. This is an anthology of werewolf stuff. Got to keep it. Love werewolves. And I don't remember the story, so I'm going to read it again. Gorillas in the Mist, Diane Fossey, really important book. And that goes obviously with my Jane Goodall book. Really important. This is really important, and especially important as I want to collect books like this to eventually, hopefully, do an MA in music. Hopefully. But performing ethnomusicology. So this is a really important book. Academic book on music. And Oscar Wilde's Picture of Dorian Gray. I think I'm going to read this. So I've almost read it so many times, so I could unhaul it. But I really do think I'm going to read it. So I'm going to keep it. This is the third book I found by Rachel Leslie. I've only got 3, so this is the other book. So I need to read them to find out if I like them. But I'm going to keep it. Definitely keeping this. This is one of my favourite books. The Word for World is Forest by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is a world omnibus of science fiction. This is really cool because these are science fiction short stories from around the world. So all sorts of different countries that you don't find authors from very often. So I do think this is a really cool book from that point of view. Benjamin Zephaniah, another book by him called Gangster Rap. I'll keep it. I do like what he does. This is Crime and Punishment in England. I used this. There's a source book. I used it for my degree, and I'm keeping it. Half of a Yellow Sun. This was bought because I know it's had a big reputation. And lots of people love it. The critics loved it, and it was really cheap, so I bought it. So I'm going to try it, I think. Right, sorry about that. That was I need to shuffle the books around a little bit. So there's H.G. Wells' Sleeper Awakes. I don't really want to get rid of any of my H.G. Wells books, so I'm keeping that for a minute. There's a really interesting one that I'm definitely keeping, and it's going to be part of this video I'm going to do on cartoons telling history. And the subtitle for this is Punch's Chronicle of English History in the Making, 1841 to 1861. So, Cap and Bell, editorial cartoons from Punch. I'm getting rid of this one. This is The Voices of Children, 1700 to 1914. This is really good primary source stuff for the way that children were treated. So it's a good book, but I'm going to get rid of it because I'm not doing my course anymore. This is a history of the English language, the way it changed and formed and mutated. And an academic book, but I'm not going to keep it. So I'm sure it's really good, but I'm not keeping it. George Orwell, Coming Up for Air. I've got a few George Orwell books that are not Animal Farm and 1984, and I haven't read any of these this side of his writing, so I'm going to keep it and unread it. Pushing Ice by Alistair Reynolds. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I don't know if I'll keep it for good. I'll keep it to read it. This is an awesome book. I love this book. I've had it for a long time. It's short stories, so very short stories from some of the greats, and Sheckley's in there a few times, but it's a really good source of very short stories. Okay, I've got some Ian Banks here. So there's like Consider Flea Bass, Use of Weapons, Player of Games. There's Surface Detail, Hydrogen Sniper. I think it's all of the books in that series. It's not actually all of them, but I think eventually I'll get to the place where there's all of them. They're in different boxes, clearly. So it's weird because I bought them. It was a weird fluke that I managed to find them quite cheap in a very short amount of time. So I still haven't read them, and I think I need to consider Fleabess or Player of Games to figure out if I'm going to like what he does. The Culture series. Because I think they're probably a little bit Marmitey. You either absolutely love them or you don't like them. So I'm going to give one of them a go anyway. And who knows, I might get rid of them, or I might think, oh, I'm so glad I got them so cheap. So that's some of them, but there's loads of others that I've got in other boxes. There's The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So that's down there somewhere waiting for the companion bit. So one of these is going to go. So I'll have a look at see which one is the least good quality condition. And Elric of Melnibourne, Elric of Melniboné by Michael Moorcock. Great book, and recently reread, but I'd probably reread it again at some point. Confederacy of Dunces. So this is a book that I need to read at some point. I know that Al and Greg have talked about it, and I need to read it basically. So I've got that to read. This is really good, this book, Beyond Kidding by Linda Clark. I'm going to reread this at some point because I really enjoyed it the first time. It's got an awesome plot, and it's a little bit mad. But yeah, it's really well done, really well written. Linda Clark's Beyond Kidding, so I'm definitely keeping that. Really underrated book that I might not be able to see again if I didn't keep it. Right, this is the third Wayfarer's book from Becky Chambers, and so I'm definitely keeping that, obviously. This is the Revenger series by Alistair Reynolds. So it's Revenger, and then it's Bone Silence, I think, and then Shadow Captain. And I really like this series. So some people, some Alistair Reynolds fans think this is watered down Alistair Reynolds, but I think it's really good. Really, really good. Like, one of my favourite trilogies I've read over the last sort of 6 years or whatever. Really like that. And there's another couple of Alistair Reynolds here that I haven't read. Chasm City and House of Suns. So House of Suns, I know that Moyd from the Deaf Media Cult raves about this a lot. I mean, he raves about Alistair Reynolds in general. You know, these were books that I found quite cheap, and I thought, well, I can't say no for £2. But I've only read, what have I read? I've got 3, 4, 5 Alistair Reynolds books, and they're not the big ones. Like, I've got Redemption Space, is it called? Revelation Space. I've got that upstairs in my main area as well. So, another box here. Invaders from Beyond. Right, so this, I bought this because it's supposed to be a funny sci-fi to the tone of Attack the Block. But I've had it a long time. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think I'm going to read it. I'm trying to be harsh. Belgarath by David Eddings. I don't think I'm going to keep it, because by the time I get to reread the Belgariad, which is what I do first, I'll probably see this again at some point. I don't know. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to keep it. Joe Haldeman's Peace and War. I definitely need to keep this. It's all of the Forever War related books in here. It's an omnibus. so I can keep that. And I do collect Joe Haldeman stuff anyway. There's the House of Haunting of Hill House, sorry. Shirley Jackson, absolutely amazing book. Keeping that. Anthology of short stories in 5 different continents. I was quite excited to get this and then promptly stuck it in the loft. So, does this mean I'm not going to read it? I'll keep it. This is the 9th Expanse book. I've got the first 4 Expanse books upstairs, and this was really cheap and it's really good condition, so I bought it knowing I'll get there eventually, so I couldn't help myself. Shock Rock is a classic kind of vintage horror thing, which I bought at the time, so I've had this a long time, and it's got some of the big names in that period of horror, like David Show and Graham Masterton, and it's got an introduction by Alice Cooper. It's got Richard Chris Matheson story, which is really gross actually, that one. But yeah, I'll keep that. Michael Moorcock, first volume in A Dance at the End of Time. See, I don't know. It's so easy to find Michael Moorcock stuff. They're everywhere. But this is the first book. You often find like second book or third book or something like that in these different sets of books he's made. But I'm trying to be harsh. I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, this is a weird one. This is an issue of fantasy and science fiction. I've always wanted to have the room to just get loads of these, but it's got James Sittree Jr., J.G. Ballard, Harlan Ellison, Damon Knight, Avram Davidson, Edward Bryant, R.A. Lafferty, Brian Aldiss, and Asimov in there. That's quite mad. So yeah, I'm definitely clearly going to keep that. An A. Van Vogt collection, so I'll keep that and I'll put it with my sci-fi stuff upstairs. Ocean at the End of the Lane, love this book. I've recommended it a few times on the channel, definitely keeping that. The Pearl by John Steinbeck, I like this, I do like this book. So I was wondering about whether to keep the Red Pony, and I think I decided I'd keep it. I'm going to keep this anyway because I think it's really good. Jaws. This has been cause for debate in the Garb August Voxer group recently. So I haven't actually read the book, but I've got it here. I could read it. I could read it this month for Garb August. But I'm definitely not getting rid of it anyway. Polgar and Sorceress. So if I'm getting rid of that one, am I getting rid of this one? Yeah, I'm getting rid of that one. Camouflage. I like this. This is a good book. So I'm keeping this because it's Joe Haldeman. This is a zombie collection. See, I don't know. Do I keep this? It's got some good authors in it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. The Living Dead zombie anthology with those names. So I'll keep that. And then this one, see this one, it's one of those classic situations where I bought it because I read the back and then stuck it in the loft. I've got no real connection to it and I'm trying to be brutal, so I'm going to get rid of it. There we are. So that's another empty box. Another load sorted out. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you think of those books. I'll see you next time. Bye.